Five fairies come, five fairies come, and the five fairies come. Once upon a time, not too long ago, there was a little girl who always wore a red cape with a little red hood. So everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother gave her a basket and said, "Now take this to your grandma on the other side of the forest, for she is sick, and this will make her feel better. But be careful and do not speak to strangers." "Okay, Mama, don't worry, I won't." And she hugged her mama goodbye. And off she went through the forest. Not too far into the forest, she met a wicked wolf who was hiding behind a tree. "Hello there, little girl. Where are you going today?" "I'm going to my grandma's house to give her this basket, for she does not feel very well." "And where does your grandma live?" "Just on the other side of this forest," she foolishly answered. And with that, the wolf said, "Good day," for he knew a shortcut through the forest. And he found Grandma's house and got there long before Little Red Riding Hood. He knocked on the door. The grandma answered the door, but the wolf was so fast he pushed the grandma into a closet, locking her in. And he wrapped himself in her nightgown and got into Grandma's bed, where he waited for Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood got to her grandma's house and knocked on the door, but there was no answer. "Grandma," she called out. "Come in, dear." She let herself in and put the basket on the ground. She went into her grandma's room. "Hello, Granny. Are you feeling better?" "Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my dear." "Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear." "Oh, Grandma, what sharp teeth you have." "All the better to eat you with." He jumped out of bed and chased Little Red Riding Hood all around Grandma's house. But luckily for Little Red Riding Hood, he tripped over the basket and smashed his face on the floor, knocking out all of his teeth. Luckily for Little Red Riding Hood, he could no longer eat anything or anyone for that matter. He was so embarrassed that he ran out of the house, through the forest, and was never to be seen again. Little Red Riding Hood was so afraid. She called for her grandma. "Grandma, Grandma!" And she heard a funny noise coming from the closet. She opened the door and her grandma came out. "Oh, Granny, I'm so sorry." "Oh, my sweet child, I'm so glad you're okay." "I am so sorry, Grandma. I have learnt my lesson. I will never speak to strangers again. I should have known what big ears he had." Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma ate all the goodies from the basket, and they both agreed to never talk about the stay again, for who would believe them about a story about a wolf with no teeth? It was time for Little Red Riding Hood to say her goodbye. She helped her grandma put on her dressing gown and gave her a hug. "Now remember what you told me, my sweet child. Do not speak to strangers. I won't. And off she went, back through the forest. And she got back home, safe and sound, where her mother was waiting for her and was so happy to see her. Snip, snap, snout, my tale is all told out. Fire fairies burning bright, thank you for your golden light. Good night,